Now we are moving into item 4.1. I know that we have a consultant delegation. Do I need a mover first, or do we do the delegation first? I can't remember. Move it, okay. Okay. All right, moved by Councillor Brenner, seconded by Councillor Butt, and so to have our digital readiness assessment and strategy addressed. But before anything, I would just like to turn over to Marisa Carpino for a minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Nagy. I'd like to take a moment to provide a bit of an introduction before the consultant presentation. Staff are pleased to present to you today the Digital Readiness Assessment and Strategy. I want to highlight this initiative aligns with the Corporate Strategic Plan by supporting connected and accessible community and fostering an engaged and informed community, as well as promoting the city's organizational efficiency and effectiveness, along with providing exceptional customer service. While the strategy includes an investment and implementation plan, I will note that budgetary implications that will be considered as part of the annual budget cycles, largely beginning with the preparation of the 2025 budget. This strategy underscores the significance of using technology to make processes more efficient, improving the customer experience, and identifying new ways to deliver services to create a convenient and enhanced service experience for all citizens. It is important to ensure that Pickering is responsive to the diverse needs of the growing community and takes a citizen-centric approach to service delivery and communication. Staff engaged MNP Digital Inc. to support the development of this strategy in late 2022 with Council's authority. And they have since engaged with key staff, members of Council, and the public as they've worked to develop a vision and roadmap for Pickering's future. MNP has experience working with over 750 municipal clients across Canada in a number of service areas, including digital transformation strategy and solutions.
Thank you. Thanks so much, and very nice to meet all of you. As Marisa mentioned, I'm a partner in digital advisory based in Edmonton, and I lead the municipal work that MNP Digital does across Canada.
Thanks for joining us for this special episode of Municipal World Presents, sponsored by MNP LLP. I'm Susan Gardner from Municipal World, and our guest today is Wendy Gnenz, MNP's Senior Manager of Technology Solutions. A CPA for over 25 years with extensive experience in technology transformation, Wendy led the City of Edmonton's participation through the initial and final stages of the Infrastructure Canada Smart Cities Challenge.
Actually working with quite a few cities on, and one in particular, the City of Ottawa, is the development of a smart city strategy or a digital plan. So what we're doing with the City of Ottawa is working with them to understand how can they use the technologies that they have currently and augment them with digital platforms, etc., to move into the smart city space. One additional insight that we gained from our extensive community engagement that we had with citizens in Edmonton was that privacy and ethics are big concerns of citizens. We've seen a number of instances recently with government organizations and citizens asking about how their data and information is being used.
So we've been working with about 20 municipalities in the past 18 months, to talk about how digital can be used and technology can be used to enhance service delivery and to find efficiency.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a few questions. Thank you for your delegation today. I myself, I don't quite agree with Councillor Brenner and Councillor Butt wanting to jump right in based on a report that we have received and have had less than 2 weeks to actually fully go over. And I think we need to refrain from hastily proceeding with a project of such magnitude that is going to hold the potential to profoundly reshape the lives of individuals here in Pickering. I do have quite a few questions, so I'm hoping to get those out. First of all, I'd like to go back to the privacy and surveillance for a minute, because I would like to know, how does the proposed technology address the concerns related to privacy and their surveillance of its citizens? To the delegate.
So Councillor Robinson, just to clarify, you're asking the question to the consultants?
To the consultants.
Okay,
if I
thank
can,
you.
Yes.
So Katie or Wendy?
Sure, no problem. So within our strategy, we ensured that there is going to be consideration of privacy effects on all of the data within the organization, and at no time will any of the data be released to an external party.
There seems to be a lack of transparency in Wendy's response. One of her co-workers at MNP holds a Government of Canada secret-level clearance. Another one of her co-workers at MNP in the past has led teams at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, Technological Crimes and Federal Serious Organized Crime sections. This is public information. These two individuals would know the truth behind Lisa's question. Would they give the same answer Wendy did? There appears to be a lack of transparency going on. The RCMP doesn't have the best track record with this subject.
So Dale does have a very extensive privacy and cybersecurity plan, and he will ensure that that's put in to make sure that, again, none of that data is breached. Katie, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you covered it.
I guess then the question then moves to Dale Quaid, please, if I might. What exactly do you have proposed in order to keep this technology safe and our privacy safe?
Through the chair to Councillor Robinson, thank you for your question. Today, we don't have anything in place to protect our residents online.
So we would be moving hastily if we decide to want to implement something like this right away, since we don't have anything in place to ensure the privacy and safety, because we don't have that in place as of yet.
No, we will not move hastily.
Perfect.
We will move carefully.
Thank you. I think I remember in a previous council meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a GIS strategy. I'm thinking I had posed the question back then that any kind of data collection that we do here at the municipal level, if somebody from a higher tier level of government, say the provincial or federal government, want to use that data, do we have an obligation to give it to them?
Dale was not responsible for the GIS strategy, so let's keep the questions.
I'm unable to answer that question. I think that might be better posed to other members of staff.
Thank you.
Through Chair Nagy, there's no one answer to that question because it's a complex matter that depends on the facts of each use, storage, or communication of data. So right now, I would say that the Municipal Act primarily governs the conduct of municipal corporations, including the City of Pickering, and our existing policies and procedures, as Dale adverted to, are in place under the Municipal Act to protect the data of residents, of employees, of councillors, for that matter, to the extent that you use our network. Those safeguards will remain in place, and those safeguards will be improved and fine-tuned.
Seeing as how we don't have any technology in place to address the concerns related to privacy and surveillance of the citizens, is it also safe to say that the collected data, we also wouldn't have anything in place at this time so that the data is used responsibly and ethically? Correct, Dale?
I think, again, that's more a regulatory question than a technological question.
The RCMP and the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS, potentially exploit potential loopholes in regulations and potentially collect personal information through its private sector partners even if the information was potentially obtained illegally.
And I'll certainly hand the mic over to Dale if he wants to add anything. But the fact is, we do have the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act that we are always required to comply with. And that won't change regardless of what new widget or software we decide to buy down the road. So the other thing is that not having safeguards about surveillance is a bit of... I'm not sure I fully understand that because we don't do surveillance. That's why we don't have systems in place to govern or safeguard against it. And we won't be doing surveillance.
Is this program capable of having surveillance on the residents of Pickering? In any way?
So what we've presented is as a strategy, so an approach to how the city will guide the investment in digital tools for the future. So we didn't recommend a specific technology or tool in that report. There isn't the need to buy something right away. It's taking that very structured and strategic approach to purchasing new technology.
Okay, so there are different levels that we can add on to and create for our municipality as we see fit, correct? Okay, awesome. And the technology aligned with these principles, does this technology align with the principles of 15-minute cities and or smart city?
Okay. That is now out of order as a question. This is about digital strategy.
Yes, a digital strategy is part of that.
Right, but smart cities are different from our digital strategy.
Actually, smart cities have to do with just that. It's smart cities and technology. That's what
Smart city technology is putting a sensor at the bottom of a garbage bin to tell you when it's empty.
I'm sorry, it is not.
I'm sorry, it is. But
Can we
both
give the
are which are
consultant- could
very
please answer
different
that
from
question?
15-minute cities.
Well, we'll hear the consultant, not my staff.
What are smart cities? There are many definitions of a smart city. Here, we refer to environments where digital technologies are used to enhance the quality and efficiency of municipal services. A smart city collects and analyses data interactions with and usage of public infrastructure in order to improve service delivery and user experience. This data is collected through connected sensors and individual devices which are part of centralized networks that manage service delivery. Smart cities can be scalable according to the needs and intentions of the community. Key factors that shape smartness include the quantity and quality of data collected, the degree of interaction of different infrastructure networks, and how the data is used to inform decisions by infrastructure owners and operators. What kind of data is collected, and how? To give you a sense of the kind of information that could be collected in a smart city, consider these smart city applications: smart utilities, smart homes, autonomous vehicles, smart hospitals, smart commerce, and smart public transportation. To provide one example, smart city technologies used to manage traffic or transportation might collect data that provide a picture of individuals' movements in a city, and other related data. This personal information could be collected from sensors, such as audio and video recording devices or vehicle license plate readers, or from personal mobile devices. What are the national security concerns? Smart cities represent the next generation of critical infrastructure, underpinning nearly all aspects of daily life. This integrated centrality means that smart cities will be attractive targets of hostile state actors and criminals for espionage and sabotage/disruption. Data exploitation. Smart cities will collect and operate by processing huge volumes of personal and corporate data produced through interactions with and usage of smart infrastructure. This data can provide valuable insights for threat actors, including profiles and patterns of life of Canadians. In the hands of a threat actor, this data can be exploited to enable activities that compromise the safety and security of Canadians, e.g. espionage, foreign interference, and Canadian critical infrastructure. Interconnected critical infrastructure. Connecting different critical infrastructure systems via telecommunications networks increases both the attack surface and the potential scale of impact, i.e. access to or disruption of one infrastructure systems could have spillover effects on other systems. Possible harmful impacts of a smart city breach or inadequate data governance. Disruption or denial of access to public infrastructure or services such as public transit, traffic control, emergency dispatch or utilities, e.g. water or electricity. Unauthorized access to, retention of, or exploitation of Canadians' personal and corporate data, which could be used to facilitate further targeting of individuals and communities for foreign interference or espionage. Examples of such activities would include capture and misuse of personal information or surveillance footage, disruption, theft, or corruption of Canadian data, information and systems, espionage against targeted communities, and subsequent threat activities against members of the community such as harassment or intimidation. Use of large amounts of Canadian data to support research for the benefit of foreign states in developing advanced military systems and/or surveillance programs, e.g. Canadian data used to train AI algorithms of advanced military or intelligence capabilities. How can smart cities be compromised? Methods can include cyber operations, insider threat, compromised equipment or supply chains, external actor access to systems or data during installation, maintenance, operation, or servicing.
I don't think it's in order, like it's a question that's in order. So I'm going to say that the consultant is not required to answer that. You're welcome to move on. Oh.
So you're telling me that technology, I'm asking if it is aligned with the principles of 15-minute and smart cities.
Okay, you asked that, and
that
I
it does
invited
not
you to move
pose
on.
a challenge to these concepts. No, I want to know if it's going to pose a challenge, because I know that from a conversation that Councillor, that Mayor Ash has spoken to him and one of our staff, Catherine Rose, they had a conversation about smart cities on a video. So I'm wondering,
That
is this going to pose a challenge to those very concepts that we're looking to bring into Pickering?
That was at our last council meeting. You asked them about smart cities. They responded. That was the on video. That was the question. So nobody has brought anything up about smart cities and 15-minute cities ever, except for you. Please move on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to ask the mayor, did you do a video recently with Catherine?
The mayor is not
regarding smart cities recently? Because there was one that was done in December of 2023. Correct?
The mayor is not the person that's being questioned here.
Okay, I'll have to play that video for you guys later then.
We talk about 15-minute cities and 15-minute communities. Well, what it means is not that you can't go 15 minutes out of your area. What it means is we want to develop communities that have all the things you need within 15 minutes. Your doctor, a healthcare facility, your school, shopping, your rec center, your library, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't necessarily have to get into a car and drive to Kingston Road or whatever. So I think we have to be mindful of what we're developing and the need to have infrastructure that makes the community whole, rather than getting in a car, driving to the $39,000 parking spot, getting on the GO train.
So just back to that idea of the 15-minute city, I'm in the 15-minute neighborhood and I love it.
Okay, so how does the technology contribute to or hinder any kind of a development that possibly, if we were to become a smart city infrastructure,
That does not exist.
Would it move in line with the technology from that, or would
Considering that is not a mandate right now for the city, that's not relevant.
Once again, Lisa Robinson's voice is being silenced. She is speaking now, but they turned her microphone off. Welcome to Pickering Council
Is there
Chambers.
any kind of those questions that you would like to answer for me, Ms. Consultant?
Excuse me, the chair has ruled and the consultants will not be responding to questions that the chair has ruled out of order.
So are we to say then, in future, myself as a counselor, I'm not allowed to speak to 15-minute or smart cities? Is that what we're saying here at this moment? Because this is my question, because I know that
Are you asking the consultant?
I'm actually asking the CIO at this time, if I might, or whomever that can possibly answer, because since I am being silenced on asking very important
Point of order.
questions that have to do with
Point of order.
technology.
Please go ahead.
A member question or procedural bylaw 2410. A member may ask a question during the course of the debate only for the purpose of obtaining information related to the motion under discussion, and such questions must be stated concisely and asked only through the chair. I think the chair, in my opinion, has correctly stated that these are not related to the motion under discussion and should and have been ruled out of order.
Thank you. I didn't have the actual procedural wording in front of me. I didn't know exactly how to word it, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
So thank you for that. But how can somebody rule it out of order when they don't have no understanding of what it is that I'm speaking about? Because if they,
It's not on the topic.
but this isn't the topic of smart cities. If you want to look
It
up,
absolutely is
I'm
not.
sorry, please let me respond, please, before you cut me off, Madam Chair. That'd be greatly
You've been
appreciated.
cutting me off as well, so we're doing the same.
If you do not know what a smart city is, then how can you tell me that this is not this has nothing to do with a smart city when I know full well that it does, because I have done my research, which means that this is in the very topic that we are discussing at this time.
So I know what a smart city is.
Apparently you do not. Sorry, but you do not. If you think that it has to do with something at the bottom of a garbage bin, then I'm sorry, you are sadly mistaken.
I
So
agree.
I will move on with some other questions then to the consultant.
Oh, sorry.
Mike, that would be great. Thank you. How will the implementation of this technology address the concerns raised by employees in the survey results? I believe there were some concerns that the employees had in here. I was just curious.
Through Councillor Nagy, the chair, to Councillor Robinson, many of your questions are very specific to technology, and this report has nothing to do with any specific technology in question. It is a plan, a framework, a blueprint, a roadmap. We will determine the technology that we think best delivers on the outcomes we're looking to achieve at the appropriate time in the 8-year cycle. And as per our purchasing policy, we will come back to Council to authorize the purchase of those technologies. I think that might be the more appropriate time to ask about specific technologies, because there aren't any in question right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that would be fine, because most of these questions I pulled from directly from the report, from reading the report, the extensive report, and that's where I pull my questions from. So everything that I'm asking, I am pulling from inside of this report. So I'll move on to the next question. I know how surveys work. You know, you can pretty much gear your questions to get the outcome that you would like. I didn't see anything on the surveys or anything in this report that I read that would let anybody just pretty much openly say, no, they don't want to go digital, or no, they don't like the idea of going digital. There was nothing like that. Everything was geared to get a certain response. Thank you, Dale. My next question is, how was the vendor MNP Digital Inc. selected for this? And what criteria was used in that decision-making process, if there was any? Your mic doesn't seem to be turned on again.
I don't know.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry. This was done through an RFP, a public RFP, and there was a team that scored the, I think it was 8 participants, vendors that participated in the RFP, and MNP was selected based on their history, their track record, a number of initiatives similar to this that they had done.
Thank you. And how long has MNP Digital been in business for?
I can answer that one. MNP Digital spun off of MNP, the national CPA firm, in June 4 years ago. And prior to that, though, all of us, including me, we were part of the consulting practice of MNP. And the firm has been around, I think, since 1932. So many, many years of experience.
Okay, so you are national. So what other countries are you in right now?
How
We
is
are only in
the digital
Canada.
strategy?
I'm sorry?
We're only in Canada. MNP is a Canadian firm.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I see another MNP. I was just doing some research and I saw that
That's not a question.
it is a question because I'm looking at here at MNP's dedicated China services team combined any industry expertise with market knowledge.
That's a question. That's not a question.
In Canada or abroad. So I was just wondering if it was the same company.
How is that relevant to the digital strategy?
I'm asking if it's the same company.
How is that relevant to the digital strategy?
Because I'm asking if.
How is that relevant to the digital strategy?
Because it's very relevant because I want to know if it's the same company that.
Why
Strategies.
Why would a company being in multiple countries change how our digital strategy is being presented to us today? Okay, so it doesn't. You just agreed that it doesn't. So please move on.
Oh my goodness. So it looks like my hands are tied and I'm being silenced for answering any more kind of questions. Unfortunately, that would have been the last of it, but it would have been nice to have an answer to that as to what are the countries, because I believe.
Okay, so you said you finished. Thank you so much,
So
Councillor Cook.
if you want to talk about that, I think in our report, it also talks about other.
Sorry, you said that you finished?
No, I'm not.
You said that is my last question.
So no.
You have finished?
Question. I believe that in our report, it also has other places that you are working with in the areas.
Councillor Cook, please ask your questions.
This is the game that's going to be played.
Thank you, Chair Nagy.